NFL quarterback tier list. Let's just get into it. I might have to zoom in a bit, a little bit. Okay, controls not working. Oh, it is already zoomed. It's already adequately zoomed. Let's go. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is used to be elite. I would put him in a. I would have put him at A tier. Was possibly an MVP contention at one point. As of right now, I don't think he's bad. Probably gonna put him in B tier, just because I think with the injury that's people are just talking shit. But Jacoby Brissett, I've always said Jacoby Brissett has always been a solid backup. So solid, but nothing more less, nothing less. Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix isn't the worst quarterback in the league, but he is like a solid D tier quarterback. Kirk Chains. Again, probably just C tier with the occasional S tier level performance. Every year he has one S tier level game where he'll throw like 500 yards in a game. That's how he does it every year. Lamar Jackson is, in my opinion, as a Steelers fan, still an S tier quarterback. His team sucks. His receivers suck. He's surrounded by a bunch of bums. Then you got arguably the best quarterback in the league, Joshua, Gregory, Octavius, Nigel Medicus, Allen. Probably the best quarterback in the league. Again, another NFC North mofo. Joe Burrow. I'm at last year it wasn't like that crazy, but again, his team sucks. We're going based solely quarterback. I think Joe Burrow's would be considered S tier. Joe Flacco, I fucking hate him. He's just a C tier quarterback, honestly. Shading Dong Sanders. I'd rather have him over Michael Penix. To be honest, I think he's C tier. A lot better than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be a shitter, but he's actually not terrible. So I'll give him that. Dylan. AJ, what the fuck's not AJ Dillon? What? Yeah, this guy's so relevant. I don't even remember his name. F. He sucks. Again, if you didn't watch my UFC video, oh, nice. If you didn't see my UFC video, you know that I cannot look at someone's face and recognize him. Dylan Gabriel. Yep. Sucks. Bryce Young. B. I think he's good. I think he's on a shit team, but I like him. I've always liked the Panthers because North Carolina kid. Also, I mean, I lived there at one point. Caleb Williams, also just a B tier level quarterback. I would not put him at A. Should not be the cover of Madden 27, but whatever. Dak Prescott is a solid A level quarterback. Last year I had him and Matt Stafford for fantasy football, and they were literally 1 and 2. So Dak is a solid A tier quarterback, again, on a team where it's really fucking hard to make the playoffs and actually do something if they do. Bo Nix. I mean, solid A tier level quarterback. I'm a fan of Bo Nix. I thought we should have drafted. I'm a Steelers fan. I thought we should have drafted Bo Nix. Jared Goff. Probably put Jared Goff above Bo Nix. I think Jared Goff is good. He's got one of the best receivers in the league. He's got arguably the best running back in the league, or definitely one of the best running backs in the league. Great defense. It's easy to be a good player, a good quarterback on a team that's really good. See what happened to Geno Smith when his sorry ass went to the Seahawks and actually was kind of good. Jordan Love. I'm a fan of Jordan Love. I don't think he's anything more than a B tier. To be honest, in terms of who's better, I'd probably put Jordan Love behind Caleb Williams right now, but I think he's good. Malik Willis, I think, is sorry. I think he's a sorry-ass quarterback. I don't think he's done shit. I don't even know why he's on here. D. Daniel Jones. I'm a fan of Daniel Jones. Even though I'm a UNC fan, Daniel Jones being from Duke, it's nice to see him succeed. And he was pretty damn good last year with the... Yeah, I'm going to put him above him all. I'm a fan of Daniel Jones. He's got some sneaky athleticism to him, and he's finally in a place where he could succeed. Richardson. Anthony Richardson, I mean, when his first couple of games as a rookie, he did pretty damn good. But otherwise, he's kind of just plummeted. I think he's got a ton of talent, but he hasn't shown that recently. So I think C tier is fair. Trevor Lawrence, always been a fan of Trevor Lawrence. Really good, pretty good quarterback on a really bad team. Just a solid B-level quarterback. I'd probably put him above, probably not above Daniel Jones. At least like as of last year, there's a lot of bias because Daniel Jones was so good in the beginning of last year. Patrick Mahomes is, I think that's a fair spot for him. I don't think he's S tier. Was he? Absolutely. Last year and the year before that, I would have said no. Justin Herbert, not a fan of Justin Herbert. He's got a lot of talent. I think he's good. His team sucks. That's for sure. In terms of performance, like probably like right there. Fair. Matt Stafford, as of right now, he's an S tier quarterback. In fact, he won MVP last year, very deserved MVP. I'm putting him in S tier. I mean, am I gonna rank these? Probably do something like that. Matt Stafford, pretty incredible how he's able to do what he is doing at his age. Tua Tagovailoa. You know, he's not good. I'm gonna be honest. He's not good at all. But he had his moments. D. I like the guy. Honestly, I think he's a good dude. Except for when he said that he's heard great things about Tel Aviv and that he wants to play Tel Aviv or some shit. Now, that's kind of strange. All right. 9. Probably the worst quarterback in the league, if we're being completely honest here. Drake May. I mean, Drake May, probably right there. I think my problem with my last video, I went like, I mean, if we're doing it last year, like Stafford would be above. But I think just how I'm ranking him for this coming year, that's how I think it's going to go. I still think Lamar's going to underperform because his team sucks, but I don't think it's his fault. Same thing with Burrow. Tyler Shuck, B, just right there. He's shown some promise. Jackson Dart. On a shit team, what can you say? Jameis Winston. Love Jameis Winston. Russell Wilson. Actually, I'm not going to make it above. Dangerous Wilson. Nigga, I'm done. I'm done with spelling. Fuck it. I can't even see my fucking keyboard because my mic's in the face. So, Dangerous Wilson. Yep. Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is unfortunately an A-tier level quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is C-tier. Sam Darnold, I think, is B-tier. Brock Purdy, I think, is also B-tier. Mac Jones, I think, is a D-tier. Yeah, I give Baker Mayfield a solid, yep, B-tier. Cam Ward, I actually like Cam Ward. I think he's pretty good. There. Daniel, Jane Daniels. Dude, I can't fucking remember shit. I need to kill myself one day. I think he's A, honestly. As of last year, honestly, I think he's going to be right here. Mariota. Fernando Mendoza, I think, is going to be... I think he's going to be a B-tier level quarterback. I like him. You know, he's going to be in the B-tier. Dante Moore's not even in the league. And Ty Simpson, who's not going to see the field because he's sitting behind one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think otherwise he wouldn't be anything special. So you got C.J. Stroud and the C.J. Stroud tier list. At bitch-ass nigga, you have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. At F, we have Dylan Gabriel, Geno Smith, and J.J. McCarthy. At D, we have Tua Tagovailoa, Michael Penix, Malik Willis, Mac Jones, and Marcus Mariota. At C, we have Aaron Rodgers, Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston, Jacoby Brissett, Kirk Chains, Joe Flacco, Shading Dong Sanders. You know my daddy. And then we have Anthony Richardson and Ty Simpson. At B, Baker Mayfield, Jaden Daniels, Madison Beer's boyfriend, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, Bryce Young, Fernando Mendoza, Kyler Murray, Tyler Shuck, this penis, Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, A, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, Bo Nix, Jalen Hurts, and then Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Drake May, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Let's do all time real quick. All right, let's go. Greatest of all times, Tom Brady. We're going to have a couple in the GOAT tier list, though. Terry Bradshaw, just a Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, I don't like Brett Favre that much, but I do think he is. Yeah, I would put him right there. We're gonna be honest. Aaron Rodgers, I have him in the GOAT tier list because you got the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, and then you have the greatest thrower of all time, Aaron Gregory Christopher Rodgers, the 14th. Patrick Mahomes, I think it's first ballot. I think he's the elite status. He's a priority, one of the greatest of all time. Jim Kelly. Yeah, dude lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. Let that simmer. Donovan McNabb, just a Hall of Famer. Drew Brees, definitely one of the GOATs. One of the most accurate throwers of all time. It should be against the law, and people should be held accountable, and people should be killed, honestly, because of the fact that Drew Brees never won a regular season MVP. He broke the record for most passing yards in a single season at like 5,300 and did not win it that year. Matt Ryan, just an all-pro guy. Look, in my opinion, I think Hall of Fame should be very sacred. Matt Ryan is really should be in the Hall of Fame, I think, but is he a Hall of Famer? No, he's known for giving up the worst loss in Super Bowl history. I love Michael Vick. He's actually one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. But I think no, not worse than best. I would never say that about him. I think he should be a Hall of Famer specifically off of the fact that he was like Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson, and he was so entertaining to watch. Other than that, not a lot of awards. put on crazy performances. Again, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. Ben Roethlisberger, 2 rings. I'm gonna have to really not be biased with this one. As much as I do not like Brett Favre at all, I do think that Favre is above Roethlisberger. They both have 2 rings. Wait, Favre has 1 ring. How many rings does Brett Favre have? Yep. Roethlisberger does have 2 rings, and he's been to 3. But he has the passing. No, you know what? Fuck that. Brett Favre is the most interceptions in NFL history. I think that Ben Roethlisberger, 2 rings, 3 appearances. Yep. Matt Stafford has a ring, has an MVP. First ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that once you get into Ben Roethlisberger has 2 rings, Mahomes with 3 rings, 5 appearances. If you can't get multiple rings like Rodgers and Breeze, they both have 1 ring, then, you know, you're going to have to overcompensate it with like crazy passing stats, which they both have. Fran Tarkenton is definitely first ballot, was probably the first guy to play like kind of like Mahomes, you just run around and just throw some shit and try some shit. Bart Starr, Super Bowl 1. You got to have him in a Hall of Fame just because the dude won the first Super Bowl. I think that's a big deal. Bob Greasy. I don't know a lot about Bob Greasy, I'm going to be honest. I couldn't give a fuck about the Dolphins, although I do obviously know Dan Marino. Probably just put him in All-Pro. Dan Marino, definitely elite. Crazy passing stats, though does not have a ring, which he should have, but he doesn't. He lost the Super Bowl. Joe Montana, one of the GOATs, in my opinion. If you look at Tom Brady and Joe Montana, they're actually really hard to tell apart. They both have very similar throwing motions and styles. It's just so smooth. Steve Young, definitely a first ballot, in my opinion. Probably do this. Athletic, has a ring, and actually gave Jerry Rice more receiving yards than Joe Montana did. Let that simmer. Kurt Warner, definitely first ballot Hall of Famer. It's really they're actually really close. I think put Stafford ahead just because of how good Stafford of a thrower how good of a thrower Stafford is. Peyton Manning's definitely a GOAT, a part of one of the most unstoppable offenses of all time. I think, in my opinion, the most unstoppable, which was the 2013 Broncos. Eli Manning has to be first ballot. You have multiple rings against the GOAT. You gotta have him in there. I feel like at first ballot. Warren Moon, definitely a Hall of Famer, one of the best throwers of the football. I'd put him above all of them, to be honest. Steve McNair, not a Hall of Famer in my opinion. I think he was an All-Pro guy. Otto Graham. But I'm gonna be honest, get these old ass motherfuckers that throw footballs like this out of here, bro. Like, come on. Johnny Unitas, though, I will say, I would put him in elite status because he was genuinely, he was a renaissance man for his time. He was really good for his time. I put him in elite status. Kenny Stabler, definitely first ballot. Probably right there. Ken Stabler, yeah, definitely first ballot. Troy Aikman. You got to have him at first ballot. Multiple rings. Part of one of the best teams, unfortunately. One of the best offenses ever. Roger Staubach, definitely first ballot. Above Troy Aikman, in my opinion. Again, rings, etc. Joe Namath, worst of the best. Genuinely the worst of the best. If you look at his stats, He has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns every year of his career except for one, and he had thrown the same amount of interceptions and touchdowns in that year. How in the hell could you say that that dude is a Hall of Famer? Get the fuck out of here. Norm Van Brocklin, I'll definitely say Hall of Famer just because he still holds the all-time most passing yards in a single game, which has not been broken for like 70 years. It's like 556 or something. It's crazy. Russell Wilson, definitely a Hall of Famer. Has a ring. Should have had 2 rings. Thanks, Malcolm Butler. But at one point, definitely a problem. But, I mean, Russell Wilson's probably first ballot. Definitely first ballot. Phillip Rivers, definitely first ballot Hall of Famer again. Because the dude has crazy passing stats. Sammy Ball. Just get these old heads out of my face. John Elway, definitely elite status. Probably right below Dan Marino, in my opinion. And you have Dan Fouts, definitely a Hall of Famer. So, you have 2026, 2027 season NFL quarterback rankings. Then we have the NFL all-time quarterback tier list maker. Yeah. So, you got the GOATs. This is literally my top 5 of all time. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Aaron Rodgers, in that order. Yeah, I'm being biased. I'm not going to lie, having Roethlisberger that high because both him and Eli Manning both have 2 rings. They both do not have Super Bowl. Actually, I know Roethlisberger doesn't have Super Bowl MVPs. But then you have the passing stats. Roethlisberger has the passing stats. I think that's fair. I think that's actually a fair top 10. I think that's a great top 10. Not going to lie, I'm actually proud of myself. I never truly put together a good top 10 quarterbacks, but like Mahomes at 6, Marino 7, Elway 8, Roethlisberger 9, Johnny Unitas at 10. I think that's good. 22 minutes and 53 seconds as of the second I said that.